Motivation is the excuse people use when they don't want to change, and the more you wait for it, the more stuck you become. Because real discipline doesn't feel inspiring. It feels uncomfortable, quiet, and repeatable. Most people think discipline starts with motivation. They think you need to feel ready, inspired, driven. But if discipline depended on feelings, nobody would ever change their life. Discipline is not what you do when you feel strong. It's what you do when you don't. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Motivation feels powerful. It gives you a rush, a sense that everything is finally about to change. You wake up early. You plan your day. You promise yourself this time will be different. Then life happens. You get tired, stressed, overwhelmed, and motivation disappears. Not because you're weak, not because you're lazy, but because motivation was never designed to last. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. One depends on how you feel. The other depends on what you do regardless of how you feel. The biggest lie people believe is that disciplined people feel strong all the time. They don't. They feel bored, unmotivated, resistant. The difference is that they don't negotiate with their emotions. They don't ask if they feel like showing up. They show up because that's who they are. Discipline is not an emotion. It's an identity. And identities don't change based on mood. Most people think discipline is about willpower. It's not. It's about your nervous system. When you set goals that are too big, your brain reads them as danger, pain, overload. So it resists. You procrastinate, you avoid, you quit. Not because you don't care, but because your body is trying to protect you. Real discipline works with your biology, not against it. Here is the rule that changes everything. Lower the bar to start. Most people think discipline is about pushing harder, doing more, forcing yourself. That's why they fail. Discipline isn't built by intensity. It's built by removing resistance. Your brain doesn't resist work. It resists starting something that feels too big. That's why lowering the bar works. Not to finish, not to be perfect, just to start. If your goal is working out, the rule isn't go to the gym 5 times a week. That's too big. The rule is put on the shoes. That's it. Once the shoes are on, the hardest decision is already made. If your goal is reading, the rule isn't read for an hour. It's open the book. If your goal is focus, the rule isn't work for 2 hours. It's open the file. This works because starting creates momentum, and momentum carries you further than motivation ever will. Disciplined people don't rely on willpower. They design their lives to make starting easy. They remove friction. They simplify decisions. They make discipline automatic. That's the secret most people miss. Discipline is not heroic. It's practical. When you start something small, your nervous system stays calm. There is no threat, no overload. Your body doesn't panic, so it doesn't resist. And once you begin, something shifts. Your brain switches from avoidance to engagement, from fear to action. That's why most progress happens after the first minute, not before. Discipline begins with movement, not mindset. Most people wait for big moments. A new week, a new month, a new year. They think change needs a dramatic beginning. It doesn't. Discipline is built in the boring middle, on ordinary days, when nothing feels exciting. The days where nobody is watching, where there's no motivation, no reward. Those are the days that matter most. Every small promise you keep is a signal to your brain. It says, I do what I say I'll do. Every promise you break sends the opposite message. Over time, your brain learns one thing: whether it can trust you. Discipline is not about control. It's about self-trust. And self-trust is built quietly, one small decision at a time. That's why consistency matters more than inspiration. You don't need to feel confident to act. Confidence comes after action. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you weaken your own authority. Not in a dramatic way, but in a subtle way. You stop taking yourself seriously. And when that happens, motivation disappears even faster. That's why disciplined people protect small habits. They know small wins build internal credibility. They don't chase perfect days. They protect repeatable days. Intensity looks impressive. It looks powerful. But intensity burns out. Consistency builds. Anyone can go all in for a week. Very few people can show up calmly for a year. Real discipline is boring by design, and that's why it works. You don't need extreme routines. You need routines you can repeat on bad days, bad sleep days, stressful days, low-energy days. If your system only works when life is perfect, it will collapse under pressure. Disciplined people don't ask for perfect conditions. They prepare for imperfect ones. That's why small actions done daily beat big plans done rarely. 5 minutes every day beats 1 hour once a week. Every time. They don't ask, "How much can I do today?" They ask, "What can I repeat tomorrow?" They don't chase maximum effort. They chase minimum resistance. That's how discipline becomes sustainable. And sustainability is what changes lives. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop waiting to feel ready. Motivation is not the beginning. Action is. Discipline begins the moment you stop asking your emotions for permission. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your standards. And every day you show up, even quietly, even imperfectly, you reinforce who you are. Not loud, not aggressive, just solid. That's how you become unbreakable. Stay unbroken.